Good evening, good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this beautiful evening that the Lord has made? Come on in, come on in. Your brother Tony, he is ready to receive you at the dinner table. So come on in. We have plenty of room and plenty of food for the soul. So come on in, come on in. My brothers and sisters, go ahead and invite some more family members and friends to come to the dinner table. We have plenty of room. We never run out of room. So this good food for the soul. It will give other family members and friends something to really digest for the benefit of the relationship between that man and that woman when it comes to the things of God. If this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I speak on relationships. When I talk about relationships, I talk about relationship basically from a spiritual or biblical point of view. I strongly believe in the relationship that God had established first when he had a unique relationship with Adam before the woman, and then when he created the woman Eve from the bone of Adam, he had a unique relationship with the woman outside the man. So God decided in his wisdom to bring the woman to the man because, as you know, my brother and sister, God himself said that it's not good for man to be alone. I will make a helpmeet from him for him. So in the presence of God, when God presented Eve back to Adam, Adam said in the presence of God in reference to Eve, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. That's the position that I come from, my brother and sister. Now, if you don't believe in the biblical account of relationships that's going to be between you and God, God did give you a free will, and God would like for you to exercise your free will with what he see deemed as far as a relationship. And as you know, you want to see what type of relationship God really started the world off with. Look in Genesis, and that's your answer. And come on in and sit down at the dinner table and get some of this good soul food for the soul. How you doing, Sister Tierra? Welcome to the dinner table, sister. Thank you so much for coming in. And those of you that are here at the dinner table, scoot a little over for other family members and friends that could come in and sit down and get some of this good food for the soul, okay? Now, again, if this is your first time, you going to enjoy this food for the soul. I'm on two different platforms. I talk on the tube and I talk on the book. If you're on the book, I may make some comments to those on the tube, but you may not see their comments, and vice versa. Those of you that are on the tube, I may make some comments to those that are on the book. You may not see their comment, but we're all here, family members and friends. How you doing? I am the real media. How you doing? Welcome to the dinner table. So we're about to discuss is what is on the dinner table. We are not at the dinner table. We are at the dinner table, but we're going to discuss what's on the menu for tonight. So what is on the menu for tonight? Stop trying to hold on to a person that God is removing from your life. Again, what's on the menu for tonight at the dinner's table? Stop trying to hold on to a person that God is removing from your life or have basically removed from your life. Now, my brothers and my sisters, you need to let go of a relationship that God can bless you even if you love that person. You may call yourself loving that person, but God doesn't want that person in your life. Believe me, brothers and sisters, God does not put all relationships together. Most relationships that come together is some type of desire that a man have or some type of desire that a woman have. But most relationship, my brothers and sisters, a lot of relationship, the man does not go inquire of God about causing him to find the right woman. And a lot of women do not go to God asking God to call the right man to find them. So God order of a relationship is for the man to find a woman. And how does a man find a woman? God does all the lead work. If you look at some examples in the Bible, God brought Eve to Adam. God also brought Rebecca to Isaac, Abraham's son. And he also brought Ruth to Boaz. And he used life experiences and life situation to bring the right man and the right woman together. That doesn't mean that the man is sinless or have never done nothing wrong. It doesn't mean that the woman's sinless and never done nothing wrong. God could bring two imperfect people together, but they're right for one another. So, my brother, I encourage you, if you have a desire for a woman, the right woman, what you need to do is inquire of God to cause you to find the right woman. And sister, if you have a desire for a man in your life, you need to pray to God to cause a man to find you. So that's my recommendation. If you don't do it that way, my brother, you can get a piece of a woman. Sister, you can get a piece of a man, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get the right woman, brother. And it doesn't mean that you're going to get the right man. Sister, how you doing, Sister Jade Lane? Welcome to the dinner table, my sister. Now, those of you that coming in tonight at the dinner table, again, this is what we're going to discuss at the dinner table. Stop trying to hold on to a person that God is removing from your life. Believe me, brothers and sisters, there are some of you brothers that you're holding on to a woman that God doesn't want you to be with. You think that you love her. Sisters, there is a man in your life that you feel like you love him, but God does not want you to be with that person. Some of you, brother, you are being deceived by what you think is love, but it's not love, it's lust. Some of you, sister, you're being deceived. You think that is love, but it's lust. And you're with the wrong person, my brother, and some of your sisters with the wrong person because you got what is called a soul tie. You have an unhealthy soul tie with a person. And you got to realize that God doesn't want you sometimes to be with well, not all the time. All the time, God don't want you to be with an unequally yoked person. God does not want you to be in an unequally yoked relationship. You must understand it, my brother. You must understand it, my sister, because if you get involved with a person and it's unequally yoked, you are going to have problems. You're going to have conflicts. What you need to understand, my brothers and sisters, is this. God is not the author of confusion. He's about peace. You understand that? That's a basic thing you got to understand, my brother and sister. God is not the author of confusion. It's peace. If you, brothers and sisters, I'm talking primarily to you single brothers and sisters, you may think about getting engaged or whatever. Don't do it. Because if you're experiencing conflict before you say I do, what make you think that it's going to change if you say I do? You're getting all the red flags, brothers. You're getting all the red flags, my sister. Why do you think the person going to change when you say I do? Why do you really think it's going to happen? It rarely happens unless the man or woman turn to Christ. But don't go on that. A man and woman, my brother and sister, need to be in Christ before you say I do. An imperfect man need to be in Christ. An imperfect woman need to be in Christ. Now let's talk about conflict, and let's talk about how God will remove a person from your life before he bless you. Now sometimes God has to intervene. You understand that, my brother, sister? God sometimes has to intervene to cut ties off a relationship with you and the wrong person because of conflict, and he wants to bless you. My brother, if you have a desire for a woman, God has the woman for you, and he will call you to find that woman in his time. Sister, if you have a desire for a man, God will call that man to find you in his time. That's why, brother and sister, we cannot get ahead of God. We have to let God do what he's going to do. Now we're talking about conflict and we're talking about relationship. Even though you love a person, listen to me, even though you may love a person, God may want you to separate from that person so he can bless you. Now, we're going to we're talking about relationship first, okay? We're going to talk about relationship. And we're going to talk about basically Abraham and his nephew Lot, okay? Now, some of you saying what they got to do with a man and a woman. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm going to give you a scenario of a relationship that there was love there, but it had to be cut. Now, when we go to Genesis 13, chapter 13, 8 through 14, again, it's Genesis 13, 8 through 14. Again, it's Genesis 13, 8 through 14. It is written. Now, let me give you a little history behind it. How you doing, Sister Deborah D. Scott? Welcome to the dinner table. It's talk about Abraham, and it's talk about his nephew Lot. As you know, I'm giving you a little background. God appeared to Abraham and told Abraham he want him to leave everything that he knew, his family, everything, to somewhere that he was going to take him where he never been before. Now, as I have said on in the past, can you imagine God coming to you, brother, and he wants you to go somewhere, and then you have to present it to your wife? You go to your, God told me I need to go somewhere, and then your wife said, where he want us to go? And you said, I don't know, but God want me to do this. Now, God can do that, brothers. God can do that. Sister, how you doing? Sister Bobby D, or welcome to the dinner table. Now, Abraham took his nephew Lot with him. At that particular time, his name was not Abraham, it was Abram, before God changed his name. Now, this is what happened. Abraham had some cattle and the camels and all that kind of stuff, because he was wealthy. His nephew Lot had some camels and other animal that graze. Okay, so we're going to a situation where Lot's herdsman and Abraham herdsman, they had a conflict of grazing. And this is how it would. I'm going to read it to you from Genesis 13, 8 through 14. It said, and Abram said to Lot, let not have any quarrel between you and me, or between your herdsmen and mine, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. Listen to what Abraham said. Let's part company. If you go to the left, I go to the right. If you go to the right, I go to the left. Then this is a key thing. Lot looked around and saw the whole plain of the Jordan towards Zorah was well watered, like Lot. And then it say, and like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. You are familiar with Sodom and Gomorrah, right? So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of Jordan that set out towards the east. The two men parted company. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tent near Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram after Lot had parted from him. Now, this is the blessing. Even though Abraham loved his nephew, it's still a relationship, okay? Even though he loved his nephew, he knew it was time to part ways. On good terms, he knew it was time to part ways. And then it say, the Lord said to Abram, after Lot had parted from him, look around you from where you are, to the north and to the south, to the east and to the west. All the land you see, I will give you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Go walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I'm giving it to you. You understand it, my brother and sister? So, why did I read that to you? It was about a relationship where there was love, but it was not the type of relationship that God wanted it to be kept together. Abraham loves his nephew Lot, but there was conflict. Remember what I said? And the Bible said is, God is not the author of what? Conflict, right? but he's about peace. Listen to me carefully. God is not the author of conflict. He's about peace, and with peace comes blessing. What you must clearly understand, my brother, what you must clearly understand, my sister, that if you have the Spirit of God in you, a person is either going to want to be around you or not be around you. There's no in between. Brother, if you have the Spirit of God in you and you dealing with a woman that doesn't have the Spirit of God, sister, if you have the Spirit of God in you and this man does not have the Spirit of God in him, you are what is called in an unequally yoked relationship. God does not want you to partake in that relationship. For whatever reason, brother, for whatever reason, sister, you decide to get into a relationship, you were forbade not to do it. You seen all the red flags, but you thought on a subconscious level that you could possibly change that person, or you thought or you felt that on a subconscious level that that person would change. But let me tell you this, my brother and sister, you cannot change another individual. Brother, there's nothing you could do to change a woman. Sister, there's nothing that you can do to change a man. The only person that could change a person for the better is a person that has a relationship with God's Son, Jesus Christ. Now, this year, this is a new year, my brother. This is a new year, my sister, and there is a person that you need to let go because God himself doesn't want that person in your life because he has a purpose for your life and he has the right person that he wants to bring into your life. Brother, if you have desire for the right woman, or sister, if you have a desire for the right man. And that's what we're discussing at the dinner table tonight. Stop trying to hold on to a person that God is moving out of your life. Now, there are two words that I need to define for you, my brother and sister, before we get into the meat of what we're talking about at the dinner table tonight. One word is called tough love. Some of you have heard of tough love, but we're going to define what the word tough love is. God has tough love for you, brother, you, sister, and I. Now, what is tough love defined as? It is a love of affection, concern expressed in a stern and unsympathy manner. Again, it is stern and it is unsympathetic manner. So stern, that means serious. It means you love a person, but you love them seriously. You want the best for that man or that woman in your life. Then it comes to discernment. If you have the Spirit of God in you, my brother, if you have the Spirit of God in you, my sister, discernment never ignores it. It never ignores the red flags or the fleas. What do I mean by the fleas? Some of you brothers have been dogged out by a woman, so you got fleas. Some of you sisters have been dogged out by a man, so you got fleas. Now, when you look at the word discernment in the Bible, it said discernment is defined from the dictionary is nothing more than the ability to decide between what is true and error, right and wrong. That's discernment. Now, when you look at it from a Christian standpoint, discernment in the Christian religion is considered as a virtue. A discerning individual is considered to possess wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to see things from God's point of view. That's what wisdom is. And be of good judgment, especially so with the regards to the subject matter often overlooked by others. Or to say it differently, my brothers and sisters, discernment is to understand or know something through the power of the Spirit. It includes perceiving the true character of a person or people and the source and the meaning of a spiritual manifestation. After we talk, my brother and sister, we could have a small Q&A session. If you have any questions, we could talk about it right after we get finished with what's on the menu for tonight. Remember, we could have a brief Q&A after this, okay? Now remember what's on the menu. What's on the menu, stop trying to hold on to a person that God is removing from your life. Case in point, sometimes, my brother, sometimes, my sister, you may be in love with a person that you know that doesn't love you, but you still holding on. How many of you ain't got to raise your hand, you don't want really nobody to know it, but you in love with a person that you know it. Not only do you feel it, you know it. You know that that person doesn't love you. And you hope beyond hope. Like Jesse Jackson said, keep hope alive. But on some people, you cannot keep hope alive, especially if you are a son or daughter of God. You are so tied to someone, you in love with that person. That person doesn't mean you no good. For example, look at it. Samson was in love with Delilah. He didn't lust Delilah. He was in love with Delilah. Look at King Solomon. He had 1,000 women. That's right. 700 of them were his wives. And the rest you could say were concubine. And I'm not just throwing a number out there. The Bible clearly say it shows 1,000 women. And all of them was wrong for him. Delilah was wrong for Solomon. Especially when you look at King Solomon. This man was the wisest man to ever live on earth outside the Lord Jesus, because Jesus was the embodiment of wisdom. But we talk about a simple man. There's no man that had the wisdom of Solomon. There's no woman that had the wisdom of Solomon. You may say a person is smart. You may say a person is intelligent. You may say a person is articulate, but none of that can trump wisdom, the ability to see things from God's point of view. So my brother and my sister, I have walked down that road before, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I have walked down that road before where you think you in love with someone, but that person doesn't love you and you holding on. Next, some of you brothers and some of you sisters, you reach out to a person. You continue to call him or her. You could continue to text him or her. You have given that person your last dime. You have put yourself in a situation where when you gave that person all that you had because you love that person, but that person doesn't reach, that person doesn't text you, that person doesn't call you, that person will not give you his or her last dime, because if you ever needed that person, something came up. They would say something like, I wish you would have got in contact with me sooner because I had to do this or I had to do that. But you did not do that. But until that time, when he or she really need or want you, that's when he or she reach out to you, because it's something that you have what he or she wants or need. And that's the only time that man or woman is actively reaching out to you, because it's not you. It's what you have. You see, a lot of you brothers and a lot of you sisters, you experiencing what I'm talking about right now. You know that you being the more aggressive person in a relationship. You know, if you didn't call that person, he or she ain't no hardly call you. You know, if you don't text that person, he or she ain't no hardly text you. You know, if you want to go out or whatever, you know that person is not going to make no aggressive move to want to get with you. If you want to see that person, you have to ask him or her will they see you, or you have to beg him or her to see you. But the only time he or she want to see you is when he or she wants or needs something from you. And have you ever noticed this? A person that really don't not really into you, you see it, but you really don't want to see it. When he or she reach out to you, you ever notice they try to feel you out to see what type of vibe you going, so they could really get to what they want or need from you. And they will act so pleasant and everything while they and even say how you doing or whatever, all that kind of stuff. Then they'll ease it in what they really want from you. It never was about you. It was about what you have, not what you want. You see, when God brings the right person to your life, my brother and sister, it's never about what you have. It's about who you are. He or she is not materialistic when it comes to you. As a matter of fact, when it comes to love, a person that loves you do not see you as extracting things from you. A person that loves you see as giving to you. You understand? If you love somebody from a Christ standpoint, you are a giver. And the person that comes into your life is a giver. Christ was never about taking. He was always about giving. So a man, sister, the right man, he's going to want to come and give. Sister, and then brother, a woman that comes into your life, she's coming in to give. And I'm not talking about material things. It's to give you his or her best, what's on the inside of him or her. Now, those things may come along with it, but that's not what it's about. It's always about the person. Brother, the right woman that God calls you to find, she's not going to come into your life with her hands out talking about give me, give me, give me. Sister, the man that come into you, that finds you, he's not going to come in and talk about give me, give me, give me, give me. People that come into your life, the right people, brothers and sisters, they want to invest in you spiritually. They want to invest into your soul, which is your mind, your will, and your emotion. Then they're going to invest in your body because you are a triune being, my brother and sister. You are created in the image of God. If you are a Christian, if you are following after God, it's about your spirit first, feeding the spirit. It's about feeding the soul, your mind, your will, and emotion, and it's about the body. That's what carry your soul and your spirit around. Now, sometimes you have invested so much, my brother. Sometimes you have invested so much, my sister, into the life of a person that you can clearly see that doesn't and will never invest in you, but you're still holding on. So 3 scenarios. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to start where I'm at now. Then I'm going to go backwards because that's the key thing. Again, sometimes you have invested in someone. You have invested so much of yourself into this person, but he or she is not going to invest in you. It's just like you're a bank. You're a bank to him or her. Now, let's say Wall Street. Let's use the example of Wall Street. You are an investor. So when you understand Wall Street, those people that be on Wall Street, they invest in to make a profit. They know they may lose a little bit, but their main focus is I'm going to invest and I'm going to get a return. So you, my brother, and you, my sister, you find yourself like a Wall Street person, and you want to invest in that person's life, but you're looking for a return. You know you got to deposit something to get a return. And you thinking that if I deposit and I'm looking for a return, this person should deposit into me to get a return. But all this person about is take. But you're still holding on. Then, secondly, sometimes you reach out, like I said, you call, you text, you make arrangement to get together. You even spend your last dime to someone that doesn't reach out to you until he or she wants something from you. And you're still holding on. And then again, sometimes you love a person that you know that doesn't love you, but you still holding on. You plead with that person to see you and stuff. You look in yourself in the mirror Even some of your family members, some of your friends say, why don't you give up on that person? That person does not love you. And sometimes you will get angry at your family members and your friends that see it because they're a third party. They don't have no emotion invested in that other person. They are investing in you. They want the best for your way of being, but you don't want to see it. And sometimes some of you guys, you get pissed off at some people that really telling you the truth, but you don't want to hear the truth. And some of you sister, you get mad at some people that trying to tell you the truth about that person, but you don't want to hear it. And you getting hurt. And but they looking out for the better you. But overall, my brother, and overall, my sister, am I speaking to someone tonight that know what I'm talking about at the dinner table? Am I speaking to someone tonight? You may not want to speak up at this time. However, I understand, my brother, and I understand, my sister, because I have walked through that valley a few times myself. And I'm here to tell you, I have walked through that valley. How you doing, Sister Audrey Robinson? Welcome to the dinner table. I understand. You ain't got to feel ashamed. But I understand. I have what I just told you about my brother and sister. I have walked in the valley before a few times in my life until I got to the top of the mountaintop. And I'm not doing the Martin Luther King thing, but until I got to the mountaintop, because God brought me up to the mountaintop. Now I could look down into the valley from where I was walking. Where some of you brothers and sisters, you're walking right now in that valley. I have walked that valley where you have walked before. Where you have really been into someone that really wasn't into you. And you think, and you feeling right now. You feeling right now that it's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. If you are son or daughter of God, there's nothing wrong with you. What you don't know, my brother and sister, sometimes God has to intervene into your life to cut ties for you because he know you're too weak to do it. So my brother and sister, if a man or a woman showing you, thank God. If a man or a woman reject you, thank God. If a man or a woman don't want to spend time with you, thank God. If a man or woman don't call you, thank God. If a man or woman don't text you, thank God. If a man or woman doesn't want to be with you until he or she want to be with you, thank God. Thank God for being rejected. How you doing, Sister Cheryl Smith? Welcome to the dinner table. Thank God, my brother and sister, for being rejected. Those of you that are coming in tonight at the dinner table, the topic where what we'll talk about on the menu is stop trying to hold on to a person that God is removing from your life. Again, stop trying to hold on to a person that God is removing from your life. Some of you, you're trying to hold on. You're trying to think about, what can I do? What can I do to change this person? Don't you know sometimes, my brother and sister, God will allow that person to hurt you. He will keep letting that person hurt you so that light could come on. He don't want you to get hurt, but he will allow that person to hurt you because guess what? From the beginning, you did not go to God anyway to ask God about that person. I am the real me to say, I agree, Tony. However, some people do not want to start over. It's a scary thought and the self-esteem may be low. I agree with that. I agree with that. But like I said, what I'm talking about tonight, my brothers and sisters, I have been in that valley before. You don't have to feel ashamed. I know what it's like. I know. How you doing, Sister Angela? Welcome to the dinner table. I know what it's like, my brother and sister, to be into someone and they're not doing as much as you do in a relationship. I have been there before a few times in the valley. I understand. And you thinking, what can I do to change that person's mind? You can't do nothing. Let me tell you something, my brother and sister, that you don't know. If you're a child of God, if you're a brother, sister, that person that you really want, the chances is that that person is unequally yoked with you anyway. You trying to project the future with the wrong person. God don't want you with that person because God got a purpose for you, brother, and he got a purpose for you. He doesn't want you with that person. So God, remember the definition that I read a moment ago. God have to show tough love. What is tough love? Love is it's affection. Hey, how you doing, A1K? I seen all the red flags and still ignore that. I understand. I have been there before. I have been there. God showed tough love, and he showed tough love by being stern and unshakable. He's really stern with us because he want us to, God have to do like this. He have to shake us. He have to shake us and say, stop, wake up. I'm trying to help you. He have to keep doing it. Stop. So if you don't do it, God let that person continue to hurt you. That person get to the point where they don't respect you. That person do things all up in your face, don't care. I done walked the valley where some of you brothers and sisters at. I have done it. But guess what? God placed me on the mountaintop. He will place you on the mountaintop, brother, with the right woman. Sister, he will place you on the right mountaintop with the right man. God don't want you keep getting fleas. Because, brother, this woman, she been dogging you out. God don't want her to keep putting fleas on you. Sister, God don't want this man to keep dogging you out. Stop, keep getting these fleas. The fleas represent all the problem and confusion that you have and those drop of tears. You think that nobody don't want you. You think that you're not good for nobody. That man or woman probably told you ain't no good. But you good when he or she wants something from you, right? You that good then. How you doing, Lady Chantel? One of the most powerful things, this is what Lady Chantel said, one of the most painful things is if someone propose and then take the engagement back. How do you heal from it if the person said God told him to propose in the first place? That person lied. God is not going to tell somebody to do something and retract. God is not like man. Whatever God say, his word does not come back void. That person that you're referring to, Lady Shantae, that person is a liar. And guess what? If that person proposed and gave an engagement ring and took it back, thank God. Thank God for that person wanting the ring back. It wasn't worth it. And let me tell you something. You, brother, and you, sister, could be put on the mountaintop for the right person. You see, if you understand this story, listen to me carefully while I keep saying mountaintop. If you all remember the story of when Abraham took his son Isaac up on this mountain, right? God had told him something, right? So Abraham, early in the morning, he took his son Isaac with him, and they had wood and stuff and some of his servants. So when they got to the edge part of the mountain, Abraham told his servant to stay here, and me and the lad will be back. So when Abraham and his son Isaac, they were going up the mountain, Isaac noticed something. Isaac noticed that they didn't have no sacrifice. And he asked his father where the sacrifice at, because he's accustomed to seeing his father's sacrifice. So can you imagine what was going on through Abraham's mind? He was about to kill his son, sacrifice his son. So can you imagine? Abraham is an old man, and his son is a young lad, probably stronger than his dad. It could have overpowered Abraham. But guess what he did? He submitted to his father. He got bound up, tied up, and he laid on top of this wood thing to be sacrificed. And when Abraham got this knife, what he was accustomed to doing, how he used to kill the sheep and stuff to sacrifice, he held up his hand and was about to go down on it. And then a voice came from heaven. The Lord said, stop. Don't do it. Now I know. I'm paraphrasing. The Lord said, now I know that you love me. And then they said, Abraham looked and he seen in the thicket of the bush, he seen a ram. And he got that ram, took his son off that sacrifice altar that he had made, and he put the ram on top and he sacrificed the lamb. That's where it comes from, a ram in the bush. That's what I keep telling you, brothers and sisters. Sister Lady Shantae say, yes, sir. He took the ram back and was very painful, but I'm grateful. Sister, he did you a favor. And how you doing, Sister Kirkpatrick? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the dinner table. Like I'm telling you, my brother and sister, listen to me, your brother Tony, carefully. What I'm talking to you all about tonight, it says stop trying to hold on to a person that God removed from your life. I have done it before, trying to hold on to a person that was not good for me. I called myself in love. I didn't want that person to go. I was hurting. I lost weight. I didn't want to do nothing. I went through the motion. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I understand. But guess what? That was a valley, walking through the valley experience. Yes, brother. Yes, sister, you may have to walk through the valley when it comes to a man or woman that God doesn't want in your life. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm a witness to this. I'm glad that she rejected me at that time. I'm glad. I was blessed when God ended that. And brother and sister, when God intervened, don't hold on to somebody that don't want to be in your life. Don't you know that God could cause that person to be acting like that to pull you away from it? You got to look at the bigger picture, my brother and sister. God could be hardening that person hard because he wants you to do something grander than that person. God knows that he got a purpose for you, brother. He knows he got a purpose for you, sister. And that person that's right there in your life, that's a stumbling block. I can testify, my brothers. I can testify, my sister, that some of the women that I was in a relationship with from the past, primarily two before Cinderella, primarily two, because there have been many of them, but it were primarily two that I invested a lot of time in before she came along. That's my ram in the bush right there. Let me see. She was my ram in the bush. Right there. That was my ram. Is she perfect? No. Does she do everything right? No. Does she piss me off sometimes? Yes. Do I piss her off sometimes? Yes. Do I make her angry sometimes? Yes. Am I imperfect? Yes. Is she imperfect? Yes. Does she come before the Lord? No. Do I come before the Lord to her? No. Do she believe in fantasy? No. Do I believe in fantasy? No. I believe in the Lord bring two people together. But you see, the key thing about it, the Lord can bring the two wrong people together. I mean, when I say wrong, sinful people that have a sinful past together. He can bring the right people together. But you see, God don't make you stay together. That's what a lot of you brothers and sisters need to understand. God can cause the right person to come into your life. But that person got a free will, like you got a free will. God's son Jesus could glue your relationship together. But brother, you got a free will. She got a free will. Sister, you got a free will. He got a free will. So both of you willfully got to include the Lord Jesus in your life to keep it together. Because Jesus don't make us stay with him. If we want to walk away from him, you walk away. But I'm telling you, listen up. Those of you that come to the dinner table later, it is a blessing when you have been rejected. It is a blessing when you have been disappointed. It's a blessing when you shed tears. It's a blessing when that person took your last dime. Everything that is bad is not all bad for you. Because God, my brother and sister, he could take the worst things and make it better for you. Even Joseph knew about this. Remember Joseph in the Bible? He told his brother about the future. He told his brother, he gave them a scenario. He used this. He said, I see the sun and I see the moon and I see the stars bowing down to me. So what was Joseph telling his family? And Joseph's father was Jacob and his mother was Rachel. So what he was saying, I can see my father and mother bowing down to me, and the stars represent his brother. They got pissed off at him because they looked at Joseph like, who you supposed to be? Who's supposed to bow down to you? But what Joseph was actually telling them is, in the future, God was going to have a purpose for him. He was going to be the second most powerful man in Egypt. So we remember the story. His brothers, they sold him into slavery. We remember that story. When his brothers sold him into slavery, he worked in Potiphar's house. Potiphar's wife lied because he wouldn't sleep with her. So she had some jacked up charges, got him put in jail. He was there for a few years. But God blessed him in his adversity. It came to a point where the king of Egypt started having bad dreams about droughts. Nobody could help the king. But there was one man that was in prison with Joseph. He said, I remember this man, this dreamer, and he told me some things. And what he told me in prison, I got my job back with you. So what? The king had Joseph, just check this out. Joseph left jail at the bottom, and he became the second most powerful man in Egypt. That reminds me of a story. You all remember Nelson Mandela. You remember Nelson Mandela? He was put in prison for many years. And when he left prison, what? He became the president of his country. So my brother and sister, what am I telling you? I'm telling you this: God have a purpose for your life, my brothers and sisters. And he want the right person or people in your life. So God will intervene and cut ties with people. That's why last year was last year. Some of you brothers and sisters, you are now, this is the second day of the new year. Why are you going into this new year with a person that you dealt with last year and probably year before that? Why are you doing this? Why, my brother, and why, my sister, you think you're no good? Why are you dealing with this narcissist type of individual? Why are you blocking your blessing? God got a blessing for you, my brother. He got a ram in the bush for you if you desire to be in a relationship with a man or a woman. But you got to make sure your relationship with his son Jesus is on point first. Once you have a relationship with God's son Jesus, he will give you the desires of your heart in his time. That's why you have to be patient. You have to be patient, my brothers and sisters. Remember, your brother Tony, he had walked the valley a few times. But guess where I'm at now? I'm on the mountaintop. I'm looking down in that valley. And I could see some of you brothers and sisters, you are walking the same walk that I walk. I could see some of you. When I said see some of you, I ain't no prophet or nothing like that. When I said see some of you are there right now. That's what I'm talking about. And you think there's no hope. You think you're no good. You think nobody don't want you. God wants you first. And if you have a desire for a relationship, God got the person for you. He got the ram in the bush. But you got to let go. That's why God sometimes let that person keep hurting you. Right now, I'm talking to somebody. When New Year's Eve came, you were looking for a phone call, right? You didn't get it. You were looking to bring the New Year's in with that person. He or she wasn't there. They were with their friends. They had something else to do. minus you. They knew that you were going to still be there after New Year's Eve. Then they're going to try to make up. It happened over and over and over again. You got to get the scissors out. As a matter of fact, God have got the scissors out and cut it. But you still trying to forge the relationship back together. Why, brother? Why, sister? Don't you know, my brother and sister, when a man or woman reject you, more than likely, listen to me carefully, more than likely is someone that he or she running after. You just on standby. You on standby. He or she get in contact with you when they're bored. When they ain't got nothing to do, they're bored, so they get with you. When they want something from you, they come to you when they can't get it from that other person that they running after. And let me tell you this by being on the mountaintop. Listen to me carefully. When God puts you on the mountaintop and you see that ram in the bush and you get with that ram in the bush, let me tell you what happened. Those people that you was trying to get their attention in the valley, they're going to see you on the mountaintop. Listen to what I'm saying. They're going to see you on the mountaintop. They're going to see where God elevated you and he blessing you with the right person. They're going to experience envy. They're going to experience jealousy. They're going to say bad things about you. They're going to make it seem like you were the problem and you were not the problem. And when you see some of these people talk to them, they still doing the same thing over and over again. God put you with the right person. Then some of them, they're going to hate you. Like you were the problem when you were trying to make a relationship work. But then they're going to make you the problem. They're going to talk about you. And they want your relationship to fail. Because guess what? They still running after someone and they ain't got no relationship. So they hate you. They may even contact you and say, I felt a certain kind of way. They may even contact you and want to know what's up with that person. How did y'all get together? I'm telling you what's going to happen when God bring the right person. But no, don't go back down in the valley with these people. Don't do it. Don't leave the good thing that God brought into your life. Everything in your past, my brother and sister, some of those relationships that you tried to make work in your past, don't revisit the past. Don't revisit it because they're going to have you going around in circles. You want to get out of, you remember when the Israelites, my brother and sister, you remember when the Israelites were about to cross the Red Sea. Here comes Pharaoh's army. Pharaoh's army represent those bad relationships that you was in. You got two mountains on the left and the right, and you got the Red Sea in front of you. You got Pharaoh's army, those bad men and women that was in your life, right? They behind you. Now you in the proverbial rock in a hard place. God don't want you staying right there. You seem like you feel like there's no hope. Should I just give up and go back? No, you're going forward because God's going to call your Red Sea to open. He's going to call that east wind to blow. And when he called that east wind to blow, you're going to go on what like dry land till you get on the other side. And when you get on the other side, those people, those bad relationships, they're going to try to come through that path that you just went through, right? They're going to try to get you back. But guess what? The Lord going to let them come right down there while you stand on the other side. And you're going to be watching. You're going to be seeing. You're going to be looking at it. And then the Lord going to cause the water to collapse over them because they didn't do you right. That's what's going to happen. They didn't do you right. So when you watch the water overtake them, of course, it's going to overtake them. When you left out of their life, my brother and sister, they missed out. They missed out because you would have been a blessing in their life. Now they see you with someone else. So they're going to be angry. They're going to be envious of you. They're going to be saying bad things about you to other people. They're going to make it seem like you were the problem. They may even contact you and try to gaslight you and say you were the problem. They probably going to do research on that man or woman that you was with. I'm telling you how they do it. They're going to do research. They're going to keep up with every move you make. Don't think they ain't keeping up with you. They're going to be keeping up with you. They waiting for you to fall. Those people that didn't want to do you right, I'm telling you, do not go back down the valley with those scrubs. Why do you want to leave a person that God brought into your life to go back down in the valley? I am the real media said, how did you get over the rejection, Tony? How did you overcome and get to the mountaintop? Was your faith strong enough at that time to immediately go to God? Or did you find some distraction? Good question. I'm in the real media. I'm going to answer each one of your questions right now. It said, how did you get over the rejection, Tony? This is how I got over the rejection. I had to come to the point where I was responsible for doing that. I tried to make a relationship work without God. I did not go to God to ask God, is this the woman that he wanted in my life? So that was the number one error where I failed. Did I blame the woman? No, I didn't blame the woman. I blamed myself because I knew better. I was following God, but I did not go to him. I did not go to him. So I put myself in that situation. And then I am the real media said, how did you overcome and get to the mountaintop? I had to go to God basically and say, I failed. I'm paraphrasing, I failed. I tried to do it Tony's way. When I had to admit to myself, I could not blame the woman for how I got myself. I made a decision. That woman didn't make me try to get in a relationship with her. I decided. So I was like the prodigal son. I got in the pig pen. The Lord was good to me. I went to the far country like the prodigal son did. And when I was at my lowest, I ended up in the pig pen of life. And I had to come to myself, like the prodigal son said. I remember when I was at my father's house, I had it good. So I had to get out that pig pen and I had to go back home to the Lord. And when the Lord seen the prodigal son coming, like I was a prodigal son, he seen me coming and he met me halfway. And when the Lord met the prodigal son and me, I'm a prodigal son, he met me, he embraced me. And when I was trying to explain what had happened, while I was in the middle of talking, the Lord said, hey, bring that ring and put it on his finger. Bring the best clothes. We about to have a party because my son is back home. Let's party. And that's what the Lord did for me. Then he said, was your faith strong enough at that time to immediately go to God? I had to come to myself. When I got low as low can get, when I got hurt as hurt can get, when I cried that last tear, when I was hungry, I could put a fork in my plate. I could eat 1 teaspoon of something and I pushed the plate away. That's just how bad I was, my brother and sister. I worked and I was thinking about her. I could even try to go out with other people, but I'm thinking about this other woman. But I had to come to reality and say, I need God. I need you to help me with that pain. And God helped me with that pain. Did it happen like that? Did the pain go away like that? No, it was a gradual thing. And let me tell you, my brother, so this is how it happened. You're going to notice that you're not going to be thinking that much about that person as much as you used to as time be going on. You know how to think about that person. Now, something may trigger your mind, like you may go somewhere and that you may have a memory or a record or something may come up, but guess what? You're not going to feel bad about it. Not when God in it. Kenya, how you doing, Sister Kenya? Welcome to the dinner table. Kenya said, don't back queen and king. They will regret it, but God got better in store. Amen. If any of you brothers and sisters right now, we in our Q&A session, We in our Q&A session. If you have a question, put it out there right now so we can address it. If you have a question, so we brothers and sisters, we could share. You can listen to what I have to say, and some more brothers and sisters, they may have something that they want to say. So we right now, if you have a question, go ahead and put that question out there so we can address it. We family here, okay? Don't be ashamed. Because guess what? You are not the only one that's going through what you have gone through. Somebody else have done it. Somebody else is living it. Someone else will live it tomorrow if the Lord don't tarry. How you doing, Sister Lorraine? Welcome to the dinner table. So if you have any questions or concerns about a relationship, what you need to do, my brother or sister, go ahead and put it out there. Don't feel ashamed. Like I said, you're not the only one that have walked through the valley. I'm telling you, I have walked that valley before. So I'm not no better than you, brother. I'm not no better than you, sister. I'm not no better. I am a man that had made some wrong choices in my life. But God did not give up on me. God had to intervene because I didn't want to let go. God had to intervene and shake me up so I could realize I need to let her alone. And thank God for the rejection. Thank God for not replying back to the phone calls. Thank God for not replying to the text. Thank God for rejecting me. So you, brother, so you got to get to the point where you tell God, thank you, Lord, for that person rejecting me, especially when God bring the right person to your life, because God have a purpose. Lady Shantae said, it always bothered me that my fiance warned me that members at his church would say something about my weight. He told me that was a gentleman thing to do. How can that be a good house of the Lord? That man, Sister Lady Shantae, he's a liar. He's a liar in all caps. He's a liar. And God did you a favor because God allowed this man to tell you some trashy stuff. God was protecting you. Thank God he told you that so you can move on. You may have had a soul tied to him, but thank God he moved on. Don't feel bad. It ain't about you, sister. It's about him. And let me tell you this, sister. I could tell you this. The reason why he was dealing with you, it was not because of you. It was because it was something that you provided to him. That's why he was dealing with you. And he would still do it today, but he don't want to be accountable. You understand, Sister Lady Shantae? He don't want to help. He want to use you. I just put it that way. He want to use you. He want to use you like Lou Ross had a song out some years ago, until you use me up. No, it was Bill Withers. Bill Withers. You all remember that song by Bill Withers? Until you use me up. I think that was the title of it. Dun, 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 dun. Until you use me up. You all remember that song? That's all he want to do. He want to use you up. Like some of you brothers, there are some ladies out there want to use you up. They look at you like you're an ATM machine. You led with the pocket. That's why they keep coming to you to do stuff for them. They don't get in contact with you until they want something from you. It's not about you. And some of you sisters, you let these men keep putting you on your back and flipping you over and stuff. They all the time they want to come to you when they want a little candy apple. That's when they want to come to you, when they want some candy apple. Let me see. I am the real media. I'm grateful to hear from a man perspective. It's refreshing. Most time it's the woman that you hear about grieving relationship or got a bad relationship. Hey, brother, I'm going to be transparent, brother. I have been that before. You know, but you know what? I'm not a victim because I put myself in that situation. But hey, it's the truth. It is the truth. Sister Lady Shantae said, yes, sir. I cut him completely off, blocked him everywhere. That's what you got to do. Let me tell you something, my brother and sister. You may not want to block them. You may want them to have access to you. But don't do it. I'm telling you, as time go on, God is pulling. What you don't realize, my brother and sister, God is helping you climb up to the mountaintop. While he helping you climb up to the mountaintop, he got that ram in the bush for you. You don't see it. Just like Abraham didn't see the ram in the bush. You see, I always say to my brother and sister, I'm not the originator of it. God see the whole parade. We just see the beginning of the parade and a little behind the parade, but we don't see the whole parade. What am I talking about? If you ever been to a parade before, just check this out, my brother and sister. When you standing on the sidewalk, you see the beginning of the parade, and you just stand there and wait till each section go by, right? But God be like standing on top of the building from his perspective. He see when it's going to start. Check this out. He see when it's going to start. He see how everything going to float, and he see when it's going to end. We don't see the parade when it ends. We have to stand there and watch each thing go by. But God see the whole parade. God knew, my brothers, and God knew, my sister, that we was going to go our own way. He already knew it. It was no surprise to God. Just like the children of Israel. I always say this. The children of Israel, they was in the wilderness for 40 years. They could have got over to the promised land in 11 days. I hope I didn't lose you. I had some technical difficulties. I went out. Are you here with me, my brothers and sisters? If you're here, give me the number 1 sign. That was a technical difficulty that came up. If you're still here, put number 1 down there. I didn't have nothing to do with the technology, but it just went out briefly. Are you still here? Give me a number 1. If you're still here, give me a number 1. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't have nothing to do with it, my brother and sister. I didn't have nothing to do with it, but it happened. But anyway, I'm going to make this short. Is there any other questions, my brother? Thank you, brother and sister, for putting number 1. Is there anything that you want to ask right now before we part for the night? Is there anything as far as the relationship that you want to share with the other brothers and sisters? Is there anything before we part for the night? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. If something that you want to say now, give me your opportunity. If it's something that you want to say, you need to put down there. Wait. Just put wait while you're getting your thoughts together. Just type in wait, and I'll wait. But if you don't have nothing to say, it's about time for me to part so I could go look at the football game. You all didn't think I had another life, did you? Nisa C said, wait. Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait for you, sister. Go ahead. I'll wait for you. I'm waiting. That's all you all have to do. If y'all got something to say and it seems like I'm about to wrap up the show, just say wait. And you wait. I will wait for you to see what you want to put out there. I'm waiting. The rest of the brothers and sisters, we'll wait too, because we want to share in what's going on in this Q&A session. Because I look forward to talking to you, brothers and sisters. I really do. So I'm waiting. Let me tell you something, my brothers and sisters. Okay, A1K said, can a narcissist rub off in a relationship? Yes. Yes, brother. Yep, it can happen. Do not get involved with a narcissist. What is a narcissist? A narcissist is a person that thinks the world revolves around him or her. It's all about me, myself, and I. Like I always say, my brother, like I always say, my sister, if you are at the beginning of a relationship, hear a person always saying me, myself, and I. When you hear the old word, run like forest. If they south, you run north. If they east, you go west. That's how you do it. Now, sister Nisha C, I hope I pronounce your name right. My ex ghosted me and eventually claimed it was because we moved too fast and he didn't. My ex claimed that we moved too fast and he didn't expect to connect with me in that way that he did. I'm unsure if I should hold on for possibility of us both growing and reconnect or just block. Let him go on for someone who's better for me and won't get scared in a connection. Let me tell you this, Sister Nisha C. He's lying. He is lying. You know what, Sister Nisha? I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you, brother, sister. I'm going to tell you just like it is. That, based on what you said, he was dealing with somebody else. And he was he was in the concept, is the grass greener? He was trying to go over and see what the grass greener. So he was dealing with someone else. That's all it is. You know how I could tell you that? Common man. And I see exactly what he was doing. He's a liar in all caps. L-I-A-R. He's a liar. He was trying to check out whether the grass was greener. And then you said, and he asked if we had the ability to be friends. No, he don't want to be friend with you, Sister Nietzsche. See, he don't want to be friend with you. He want to put you on standby when he get bored or he wants something from you. That's all he want. He wants something from you. And want me to tell you what mostly he want from you? He want the sex. That's what he mostly want from you. He just want the sex. He want you on standby. When a man or a woman say, can we just be friends? They're trying to keep you on for standby. You brother and sister, you need to understand that when they normally ask you that, they're trying to keep you as a standby. And they know what buttons to push to get you. That's all they want to do. They want to hold on to you. That's all. He's a liar. He's a liar. He ain't real. He ain't real. He's not like the ever ready Bonnie, but he want to keep going and going and going. All right, I think, well, is that all? If that's not all, you better go ahead and say wait. By the time I count to 10, I'm going to be out. So if you got something to say, you better say wait. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. Nisha C said, thank you. This man is 37, never been married yet. Been in multiple relationships, but desire it. I'll be moving on. I doubt he'll be changed anytime soon. Thank you so much. No problem, sister. He was just trying to put you on standby. Sister Flo said he stopped calling for 55 days, not calling back. Things not the same since he been calling back. That's just an episode, Sister Flo. You all, they just trying to check out the grass is green, and that's all. And they trying to see, do they still have that little door open for them? That's all they want to do. Women do it to the men. They want to see if that door's still open. That's all. It's not you. It's what you have. That's it. It's what you have. But my brother and sister, don't bring yourself down here low. I have brought myself down low. You ain't got to do it. Because just be on the mountaintop with the Lord and look to your right for the ram in the bush. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. I hope that you all have a good evening. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you, sister. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the next live. Lord willing, we're going to have a good topic where we're going to have something good on the menu, and we'll do another Q&A tomorrow. You all are welcome. Thank you so much, brother and sister, for being here at the dinner table, okay? Go ahead and invite some more family members and friends to meet us at the dinner table tomorrow night, Lord willing. We have plenty of room at the dinner table. We have good food for the soul. Already remember that. As a matter of fact, you all could take some of the carry-outs and share with some more brothers and sisters and say, hey, you want a good meal? Come to the dinner table tomorrow, because Brother Tony, he got something cooking tomorrow. He always have a good meal, and he loves sharing those good meals with us, because he believe in family. He believe in family time. So if you want something to talk about, come to the dinner table, because, hey, you want a family? Come to the dinner table. I love you, brother. I love you, sisters. Peace out.